All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark, and this is episode number one of the Risk It for the Biscuit podcast. Um, I've been thinking about how to start this off, and I really haven't been sure or confident on how to do it, but I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Um, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. So, the podcast. This is something that I've always wanted to try, something I've always wanted to do, and I've made multiple attempts. I think going all the way back to high school, I tried, and then a couple times recently, I've attempted to make an episode or two, and it just hasn't really worked out. I kind of try it, and then I change my mind or whatever. But I really want to give it, I guess, maybe a final attempt here, and really commit to it, and just see what happens. Um, I don't know how long I'm going to do this for, or I mean, I do know how long I'm going to do this for. I don't really want to say it. I kind of just want it to be like a me versus me type of thing, but just to kind of keep myself accountable. But yeah, this is something I want to try and commit to. Um, it's I think doing a podcast. My goal here for this is to do it every Monday. Obviously, this right now is not Monday. This is Wednesday. I had some technical difficulties on Monday, but it's something that I think I can commit to. I always say I'm very, excuse me, I'm very routine oriented. I'm at my best when I'm in a routine, and I think doing a podcast and having a set time for it or whatever, it's gonna help me do that. And it's there's a lot of small details and stuff like that, and involved in it. Just like setting stuff up and recording, editing, and all that. And I think that's something that I can just really benefit from. To having something consistent to stay on top of. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. It's something I can work on, and I'm going to touch on this a little later. But I am graduating in May, hopefully if everything goes well, and um, and I'm not really sure what to do next, honestly. Um, and so I kind of want to just give this a try. I heard, it's kind of corny, but just the quote, I'd rather say, "Oh well," than "what if." And like I said, I've tried this multiple times, but I keep thinking about it. So we're gonna do it. Um, I think through this, it's going to give me an awesome opportunity, to learn about media, social media, really get like a skill that I haven't really ever worked on. Or, I mean, I've always had an interest in editing. I remember being a kid, uh, I would edit pictures. I mean, if you go you can probably find old YouTube videos. We made like projects and stuff like that where we put videos together. So it's something I've always had somewhat of an interest in, but I've never really pursued. I've always been busy or doing something else that I haven't really seen this as something worth my time, I guess. Um, but so I think if I can take a set amount of time and just kind of commit myself to it, just see what happens. Um, so yeah, episode one, Risk It for the Biscuit podcast. That's the name of the podcast. The goal is to do it every Monday, and as you can see, it's kind of clunky. I don't really know what to do, what to say. There's shadows everywhere. I don't have lights. I'm using a microphone. I mean, an AirPod. I don't have a mic or anything. No lights. But I kind of wanted to do this on purpose, without much, not preparation. I have prepared, but not much like formality or anything really professional. Uh, Part of the reason is because I don't really know what I'm doing. uh, but also, I just wanted to go ahead and start. I accept obviously episode one. It's going to be clunky. I don't really know what I'm saying, but it's not going to be professional, and I'm okay with that. Um, I I just know that if I don't put this out there, if I don't start, if I don't do an episode one, I'm never going to get to episode two and so forth. And so I just wanted to go ahead and start. Like I said, the goal is to do it every Monday. I'm going to be, sharing stories, things like that, talking about events, news. I like reading books. Talk a little bit about that. And of course, I do have a long-term vision for this, a long-term goal. Um, Starting off, seeing minor improvements just in the production of things, and then moving towards learning about social media, learning about editing, learning about putting content together, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I want to use this as a tool to. That's kind of the end goal, is to be more knowledgeable in media, um, and stuff like that. I do plan to have guests on. Part of the reason, I'm in school right now, and the way that school works is professor gets up there, PowerPoint lecture, and being in school for high school 12 years and now college for another 4, I don't really learn through lectures. I don't really learn through PowerPoints. I really learn through conversation, right? Kind of a back and forth. So ultimately, my goal with this is to have guests, people that have interesting things to share, people that I can learn from, um, and so that's kind of the long-term vision for this. It's kind of the long-term plan. Um, I'm really not used to talking just into a camera, so I kind of want to see if I can improve on that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as a vision and goals for this goes. Um, and I know that there's a lot to learn, but I'm excited. Maybe I'm kind of crazy, but I've always just had this mindset of, if I can just commit myself to something, I feel like I could do it. I feel like I can do anything really, and we'll see how this goes. Um, and yeah, um, part of the thing here, or like the reason why I want to do it recently, is one of the reasons. I read a book a while ago, and I don't remember the author, but I think it was called like the Seven Fires or something, something like that. And essentially, what this guy talks about, um, he mentions how there's certain fires, he calls them, or things that fuel the lives of men. This book is specifically about men, um, and how in today's society, it's kind of, those things aren't mentioned. And he talks about different things, um, like fire of like competition or something. And but the one that really stuck out to me and that I remember, and it's kind of the thought process behind this whole um, podcast thing. He calls it the fire of heritage, and he explains it that the our ancestors, the people in our family that have come before us, and kind of the legacy that they have, and the things that they've accomplished, the things that they've gone through. That's part of the thing that fuels a generation, or a person, to keep moving forward and to kind of um, uh, just keep it going. That fire of heritage. And recently, with everything, I'm from Ukraine, and so everything going on there, and just hearing the stories of the brave men and women, sacrificing everything over there, and just knowing that's my people, right? That's who I've come from. That's one of the things that kind of motivates me to, or encourages me to really do more. And of course, doing a podcast isn't something heroic or nothing like that. But, with graduation here and having to kind of choose a career path, um, I kind of want to do something more with my life, I guess. Not that getting a job is, I mean, I love to work, and, but it's just kind of, it's had me thinking. And so with the fire of heritage, I kind of went through my own heritage, and I mean, I've had some incredible people in my line, in my family line. Um, my great grandparents were in the Soviet Union. Um, my great grandpa, he sat in prison for being a Christian, for just for simply, believing in his faith. He sat in prison for that. Um, my grandparents, who actually live in America now, um, they they got baptized. They had to get baptized at night in the Soviet Union so that no one would know, so that neighbors wouldn't snitch or anything like that. They had to get baptized at night. They both, finished high school, but because of the Soviet Union, or like because of the restrictions and everything, just the way the Soviet Union ran, they weren't allowed to go to college. They didn't let them go to college, right? You had to get certain stamps or like approvals from your teachers in high school to move on. And I was talking to my grandpa, and he's like, "Yeah, they wouldn't let me go. He had to become a truck driver, and that's how his life turned out." And the crazy part, he was a straight A student. He was good at school. He enjoyed school, but because he believed in Jesus, they wouldn't let him go. Um, Next, my parents, they also were born in the Soviet Union, grew up in the Soviet Union, got married at a young age, had me and my brother, and then decided to pick up everything, their whole lives, everything they've ever known, and come to America. They had $100 in their pocket. And my mom always jokes around that my dad at the airport in New York, he spent like $50 or something on candy for me and my brother. Right. So we had $50 when we came here. And my parents have been able to, grow businesses and to learn and to work hard and to accomplish a good life for themselves and for us as well, for me and my brother. And so just looking back at that line of heritage of those people that have come before me, of the, people from my country, Ukrainians, having family members and just friends, and being from that line of people, it kind of just seems not, I guess, like, so if you map that out, right, and then just to put Mark in there and have Mark just go to school and just go get a job and just live for himself. Because what I see from here, from this line of heritage, is, people who are sacrificing, people who put others ahead of themselves. And I feel like, just to kind of worry about myself and just to um, get a job and to begin working and try to live. To me, I kind of see it as living for myself in a way. Um, Not that, getting a job is bad. Obviously, you need a job, and I have a job. But I just want to do something more. I want to have an impact on somebody, on something. Um, I have goals and to help others outside of work and outside of like career, if you would say. So I want to work on that as well. And I think, being connected with others and things like that, that would definitely help. And I don't know. That's kind of my reasoning for this as well. I don't know what's going to come of this podcast. I don't know if anyone's ever going to listen to it or watch it, but I just want to try. I just want to try. Everybody in my line of heritage sacrificed. They did things they were scared to do. They did things they weren't sure of how they were going to do. They didn't know if it was going to be successful, if it was going to fail, but they tried. So this is just my attempt, and it's one of those reasons that has been kind of fueling me here. But I guess about me, right? Because I've never, you always see, I guess, or in my social media feed, right? Like, oh, go do content, produce something, and I've never been the person to really want to do that. Um, just because it's a lot of work, first of all, and I've tried making content in the past, and it's not as easy as everyone makes it out to be. Um, but yeah, so I guess just about me, and then we'll close it, wrap it up here for this one. It's probably going to be very short, but like I said, I just have to start. I just have to start, and I think it'll be better from moving forward. So currently, um, like I said, I'm in school. I'm graduating in May. I still I work. My dad has a business, and I kind of help out there, and we're working on potentially opening a couple more businesses, stuff like that. And so I'm going to be talking about that, the things I'm learning. I am interested in business. That's actually what I'm in school for, is business management. I like numbers to an extent. Um, and I like processes. I like seeing how processes work, how you know how you can put things in place that kind of work autonomously, if you will. I like that. I like structure, routine, and so I'm just fascinated, really, in learning about stuff like that, and kind of just talking about it. I want to be a better speaker. I want to get better at talking into a camera, just just because that's something I want to do. I don't know, um, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Basically, the format or the topics that I'll be kind of following and going through is just current events. I'm going to be commentating, kind of just giving my opinion. I think I have a different opinion on and a different outlook, kind of from where I grew up and the life I grew up, being born in Ukraine, having Ukrainian parents, moving to America, um, of course, having, believing in Jesus and God and having a Christian background as well. Um, but being raised here in America, just kind of seeing how things are unfolding. I think I have a different perspective than most 22-year-olds. And so that's kind of what I'm just going to be doing, talking. Um, so, yeah, if you want to follow along, like this video, subscribe. I have never imagined myself saying something like that, but yeah, subscribe if you have something you care to ask or if you want me to comment on. Um, go ahead and comment. And also, I just had this thought. I was listening to another podcast, and they asked the question like, well, how much would you pay to be able to see the what your grandparents thought, right? Or like what the conversations they had, like how much would you pay to be able to see your parents at, you say, 20 years old, 21 years old, the things that how they thought and just who they were, right? And I mean, the response from the guests or from the other people on the podcast was, "I'd pay anything." And and so the guy was saying that's exactly what our kids are going to get through the content that we create, stuff like that. So I think it'd be cool. It'll be cool even for myself to look back on a year from now, see the way that this whole, setup is, where it is, um, and just kind of what I'm thinking. And like I said, I've been rambling and I'm kind of all over the place. But I think, speaking, podcasting, media, social media, it's all a skill. It's just like any other skill, right? The first time you shoot a basketball, not going to be very good. First time you run a route, not going to be very good. First time you swing a baseball bat, not going to be very good. But I think with practice and, just commitment, and that's something I'm willing to do, right? My thought process with this has been, I've given 4 years to a college degree, and I'm going to talk a lot. I'm going to talk more about college, just my experience with it. Um, I'm probably going to talk most about it after I graduate, uh, just so I can kind of get that out the way and then just give my full thoughts on it. But I've given 4 years now to something, and first of all, I don't know if I'm going to use this degree, right? Because I'm already kind of helping out with the family business and all that. I don't know if I'm going to really use it. And second, I never really wanted to do it, right? The reason why I ever really went to college, and it's, the whole Instagramification of like hustle and grind, like everybody just like drop out of school, start a business and just chase your dreams. At that point in my life, when I had to go to college, I didn't have anything that I wanted to really pursue. So that's kind of just why I went to college. I was like, I don't know what else I want to do for 4 years. And so I'm just gonna buy. That's how I thought about it. I'm gonna buy myself another 4 years. Um, and my AirPod's about to die, so I think I'm definitely gonna be wrapping this up here. I kind of goofed on that, but I'm gonna buy myself another 4 years and figure out what I want to do. So now this 4 years is closing up, and but yeah, why I was saying that. 4 years. So I can commit to something like this for another set amount of years and just see what happens. It's like I've been all over the place. But yeah, this is episode 1. The plan here is to do an episode every Monday, release it. I'm gonna be chopping these up, putting them into clips, as well as probably on reels or something, shorts, whatever. But yeah, that's it. Again, my name is Mark. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys Monday. Hopefully in the morning. That's the plan. Or if you want to follow along the journey, see how things change, see how things improve, that'd be dope. See y'all Monday.